You know that very specific kind of anxiety you get watching a T20 cricket finish?
Oh, I know it well.
It's the final over, you can't sit down, and your heart is just pounding with the bowler's run-up.
It's that feeling where a single ball can shift the entire mood from, we've got this to it's a total disaster.
Total chaos. And that's exactly what we're exploring today.
But what if that chaos wasn't quite as random as it feels?
Exactly. We are doing a deep dive into a really fascinating paper on Markov models and something called the pressure index for T20 run chases. We're going to see how math can actually quantify the exact moment a team chokes.
It's a fantastic study. The researchers looked at, I think, over 6,500 matches from 2003 all the way to 2025. And their goal was to get past that gut feeling.
Right, to create a real mathematical framework.
Yes, for how pressure really dictates the outcome of a game.
And the main tool they use is this pressure index, or PI. And this is not your standard TV graphic, the required run rate.
Yeah. No, not at all. The standard run rate is very linear. It sort of assumes all wickets and all overs are created equal. The pressure index, well, it knows better.
So how does it work?
It calculates the ratio of the current required rate against the initial one, but then, and this is the key, it applies a wicket weight. Because losing your star opener in the power play is just exponentially worse than a tail-ender getting out in the last over.
Right, so the formula is effectively weighting the panic. It starts at 1.0, and if you win, it drops to 0. But the data shows this incredible target zone.
This is the golden rule. If a chasing team can keep that PI number between 0 and 0.5, their win probability is, well, it's basically 100%.
It sounds so simple when you say it like that. The strategy isn't hit more sixes, it's just keep the math under 0.5.
It is, but doing that means you have to predict the flow of the game, which brings us to the Markov part of the paper's title, specifically an order 3 Markov chain.
This is my favorite part of the research.
Right.
Your standard probability just looks at the current state to predict the next one, right?
Right. But cricket is all about momentum. The researchers chose order 3 because the average T20 partnership lasts about, 18 balls?
3 overs.
Exactly, 3 overs. So the model kind of mimics the game's short-term memory. The pressure state of the next over depends heavily on the history of the previous 3. It's not looking at the first over anymore, it's just looking at the immediate past.
Which makes it so accurate. They tested it against real matches, like Pakistan versus West Indies in 2018, and the model just tracked the pressure flow perfectly.
Almost ball by ball.
And, speaking of using these kinds of sophisticated algorithms to predict outcomes and optimize performance, that is a perfect segue to talk about our partner, Embersilk.
It really is. I mean, if you find this kind of predictive modeling fascinating, you have to see what Embersilk is doing in the AI space. They specialize in AI training, automation, and software development.
So whether you're looking to integrate AI agents into your business or just figure out where automation can impact your own life, they are the people to talk to. You can check them out at embersilk.com.
Definitely do.
Now, let's see this model in action with what the paper calls the tale of 2 chases.
Okay, so the data contrasts 2 matches from 2018. First up, South Africa chasing 173 against India. They were cruising, keeping that PI really low, and then they hit the 18th over.
The panic.
The panic. They lost wickets, the dot balls piled up, and because of that order 3 memory we talked about, the pressure index just spikes vertically. They couldn't recover.
Now, compare that to Australia chasing a record 244 against New Zealand.
A masterclass.
Yeah.
A complete masterclass in pressure management. Despite that huge target, their pressure curve was almost flat. They managed the boundaries and the wickets so that PI just never spiked. They neutralized the variance.
And speaking of variance, the study found a really interesting quirk about home advantage. It's not just the crowd.
No, it's more specific. The data shows home teams manage pressure significantly better in the death overs. That's overs 16 to 19.
That's when the chaos is at its highest.
Exactly. The PI variance for away teams just explodes at the end of a match. They are statistically far more likely to crack under the pressure of those final balls than a team playing in their own stadium.
So if we follow this to its logical conclusion, we're not just looking at a cool graph anymore. We're looking at maybe the future of captaincy.
I think so. You're turning momentum from a vibe into a hard number. A coach can look at a tablet and say, okay, we're at a 1.2 PI. We need to stabilize for the next 6 balls to get back in the target zone.
But I think it goes even further. This could redefine how you build a team.
How do you mean?
Well, if the math is all about the history of the last 15 minutes, maybe you don't just pick the best 11 players. Maybe you build a team of Pressure specialists.
Now that is the provocative thought. You might have a batter who is statistically immune to high PI situations. You wouldn't play him in the power play, you'd sub him in specifically when that curve starts to spike in the 16th over.
It's like Moneyball, but in real time, ball by ball. It just shows how much room there still is for innovation in the sport. It's an exciting time to be a fan.
Absolutely, the game is just getting smarter.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, please subscribe to the show. Hey, leave us a 5-star review if you can. It really does help get the word out. Thanks for tuning in.